I've been barefoot my entire life.
Yeah.
And I always, even when I was young, when I was a kid, in martial arts, I don't know very many martial arts where they allow shoes, except maybe kung fu slippers in certain styles. But even then, though, everybody's barefoot in martial. And since martial arts was my thing, I never liked wearing shoes. Also, in Hawaii, the culture, a lot of my weightlifting when I was a young child and a teenager was in my room. And you do not wear shoes in the house in Hawaii. It is considered rude to enter a house or any building that's not yours with your shoes on. So between that and just, so I've always been barefoot. But going a little deeper at my age, because a lot of people say, well, you're kind of, as you get older, maybe your feet, things start getting a little more fragile. My whole thing is, after the chemotherapy, I had peripheral nerve damage to my fingers and my toes. And I think that's common to a lot of chemotherapy, as a side effect, where you have numbness and dysfunction for years. And to this day, I still have to massage my feet. And I'm always like squeezing them into fists and things.
And you've been like 11 years cancer-free. You had colon cancer?
It was colon cancer. It was diagnosed at 42. And I went through a year of treatment. I had a foot of my colon removed. People ask me, what are those? I sometimes get accused of having steroid injections or whatever on my midsection. And that's fine. That's fair, whatever. But I just recently someone said, so what's up with the steroid scars on your lower belly or whatever?
It's from cancer.
And I said, well, thanks for asking, but that's actually where a foot of my colon was removed through that hole. And then this is where the laparoscopic whatever entered. And so, so that therapy, the chemotherapy did kind of a lot of, it was toxic, man. I just felt, it took years, like the skin on my feet used to get so thick it would crack like plastic. That's why in some of the videos, people would see my big toes are taped, especially on the lunge movements.
Yeah.
And they'd say, well, how come you tape your toes? Does that help you with whatever you're doing? And my answer was, no, you probably don't need this. But when I step back into a lunge, my toes go into a hard extension rather quickly. And literally where my toe attaches to my foot, this might be a little cringe, but it would just go, pack. Like, imagine like stepping back here and then somebody getting the edge of an envelope and going, all right, a little jackass for you there. But that is what would happen. And then I'd step back and it happened because the skin was so brittle. So, but still, if I keep my feet constantly just either barefoot or those Vibrams or these Vivos, and I can constantly move them and flex them, and I would imagine people that don't do what I do, because it's obsessive. My foot, I'm always squeezing my hand. Oftentimes if you try to squeeze your foot into a fist, you end up getting a cramp somewhere in your foot and or your calf, especially if you're sitting in a chair. You point your foot and you start trying to squeeze your foot hard into a fist. Yeah. Sometimes the toes keep going. You're like, so, but I've learned that by constantly keeping that, sending neural output to those dead nerves, I've brought them back a lot. Like my fingers used to be so numb, I couldn't, do intricate tasks. And I would imagine that people that maybe haven't practiced or know what I know about this, who also went through the same, they suffer for the rest of their life with this. So it's not just the feet. I tell people, there you go, that's the tape. Because when I was jumping back into that, and that's another thing, is explosive training is something, especially as you get older, because that, what Andrew was referring to, like saying tripping, recovering from a trip or a slip is extremely, people don't think of it as explosive. We think of explosive as your body going up, rather than preventing your body from going down, but trying to recover that little thing,
from a trip or a slip.
And there's tons of people that really injure their lower backs from a slip or a trip. They don't actually hit the ground.
Yeah.
But that, having your core be able to lock your rib cage to your hip, so that, because if this hip starts going and this core is all like, what's going on? That's when you see those people do that full on horizontal body boom down. That's a core that didn't even know what was going on. And it just allowed everything to just do what it should. But as soon as it senses a jerk in the hip, your core locks, keeps your rib cage connected to the hip. That makes a huge difference. So that's why I like to exhibit. And I also like to show the jump for people that think, man, I'm 40, I'm 50, and my jumping days are over. And I don't recommend maybe they do that. Like for a lot of my clients, just a jump rope or just starting on the trampoline, that's a jump.
Yeah.
And that's a quick loading of the body. Another thing is that the stability. Oftentimes stability exercises are, usually regarded as, on a Bosu ball, being able to perform some single leg exercise. And those are great. Those are, but they tend to be either static loading or very slow demonstration of stability. But if someone I was just listening to somebody on your podcast he drops from a 50-foot box down
Isaiah
to
Rivera.
Right, that's the guy.
50 inch.
I'm sorry, 50 inch.
That's a suicide rate.
Yeah, another generation will be 50 feet. 50 inch, thank you. And just landing.
Yeah.
And how he said some days he has to change the way he lands based on how his knees and everything. I thought that was because that is the kind of stability that matters to me.
Power Project family, how's it going? Now, we talk all about strength on this channel, but strength starts from the feet. That's why we've partnered with Vivo Barefoot shoes for over a year now. Now, Vivo Barefoot, unlike most shoes, number one, they look great, but number two, they're flexible. They're zero drop, and they have a wide toe box. If you wear these shoes over time, your feet will get stronger. Now, if you guys want to get some of these shoes, head to vivobarefoot.com/powerproject. Use code POWERVIVO20 at checkout to save 20% off your entire order. Enjoy this clip.
It's cool. Like, yes, we can show stability by having this luxury of time to, okay, all right, here I'm stable. But oftentimes when you're slipping, tripping, falling, jumping, the surface you land on is most likely not going to be perfect or symmetrical. This might be elevated and hard. This might be soft and slippery. And you have to be able to stabilize a lot more things at a very, sort of like, you know what reactive armor is on an army tank?
No.
Okay. The Israeli army, I think, first developed this. They didn't have the budget, like our M1 Abrams has these laminated ceramic billion-dollar armor on it. Well, a lot of other armies, they can't afford that. They have conventional armor. So they've put these brick-looking things on the outside of their tanks. And then it's a brilliant thing. And then there's a wire mesh that extends outside of those. And when a shape-charged round comes at the tank, it hits the mesh and completes a circuit that then is connected to whatever is the most proximal charge. And that charge will explode outwards and actually blow the rocket away. So the rocket never actually makes contact with the tank. Or if it does explode, the explosion occurs. It's not able to deliver that shape charge right up against the metal. And that's the kind of armor I want from jumping. I want, as soon as my feet hit the floor, for those initial impulses to be so familiar to what's above that as soon as it says, okay, this is a landing, then the nervous system above that is already ready to absorb and recruit the muscles upstream of that initial contact with the floor. So that's kind of why I like these jump things. It's not so I can say, hey, look at me jump, because I don't participate really in any sport or thing that requires a jump, but I need to verify that not only are my joints stable under like slow, heavy, asymmetrical deadlifts, which people seem, wow, you're really stable. But if I can't handle a jump, or if I can't jump from here to there without my knee just blowing out, I am not stable. So stability to me, it has to be verified at a high velocity before it actually matters.
Hey guys, if you like this clip, go ahead and comment down below and let us know what you liked about it. All right. Share this with a friend. Make sure to subscribe to the channel. And also, we are on Reddit and Discord. All that's down below. All our sponsors and everyone that supports us down below there too. So you can get whatever you like from us. All right. Peace.